Hey guys, Nuie here, and this is going to be another new segment on my channel. This is going to be second new segment of the week, but this is also going to be a more consistent segment. This is going to be a how-to Astral guide because I've just been running a lot of Astrals lately and getting frustrated with new players and old players alike who just don't seem to give a shit about mechanics, or either they don't understand the mechanics. And instead of just getting upset about it, I decided to just make tutorials and guides on how to do all the allods and just basically run through all the different mechanics that go into each of them. The first one I'm going to be doing is the Forgotten Temple. I have a couple of these allods videos already done, and I do still need a couple more allods, so you might get lucky and end up in one of my videos, depending on like a gear score and just the luck of the draw, I guess, because allods queue system for Astrals is random as hell, so I might not get the allods I need each day. So if I don't get that allod, you won't end up in the video, unfortunately, but if I do get that allod, then you will definitely end up in the video. But going through the beginning of this alloy, there's nothing too special. There's a couple ice elementals, and they just get out slows and stuff. So I'm not going to talk too much about them. But I am going to mention that I do now have a Patreon account. It is patreon.com/nuig. So if you guys want to help support me more on there, if you guys subscribe to me, or, well, as to say, become my patron, then I will definitely be able to ensure that you'll be in a couple of videos or something with me, or you can get into a couple of my playlists, and you can even suggest different segments that I will do on my channel. Like, it's basically just, it's all set up and all the details are over there, so if you head over there, you can definitely check it out. I'll put the links and stuff in the description for you, and it's also on my homepage of my YouTube channel, so it's all there for you guys. And I hope that I can get some more support for this, because I really enjoy allods and I'd like to keep getting videos out on raids and different tutorials for you guys. So getting back into this video and this boss, this is the first boss. He's as you see, we just come up and take a right. This boss is not anything too special. Like, he's a first boss. He's basically a tank and spake, but he has a couple odd abilities that can really kill players. Like, he has that ice crash ability that you keep seeing. It really won't go to most of the players because it's mostly targeted to your tank. But the abilities that you really have to look out for as a DPS are those tornadoes, because they are targeted abilities. They are not based on aggro. They will just switch to a random target and go after them. And then there's this ability, which is it's actually the phase change for him. When he phase changes, he brings out these 5 spirits of frost. They need to be killed, but everybody during this portion should be inside of this ring. I know the tornadoes are going out and stuff, but if you're not inside this ring, then you take damage that's very difficult to heal through. And as you'll see, our healer and a couple of our DPS actually died during this fight because of that. And this is actually one of the runs that I was first started talking about, and that's why I'm getting it up first, because I was getting frustrated watching people die, because you can see the mechanics, and allods themselves with this new 8.1 patch has done so much to increase your ability to be aware of debuffs and buffs, and even cast times of different boss abilities. So I feel like if they're going to go to that much effort, you as a player should go to the same kind of effort to learn the mechanics and learn how to avoid the damage, so you don't die and don't make it more difficult for your party. But yeah, this is his continuous phase change. It does the same thing each time, and the only other ability he has is the ice shards ability that comes up around him. As a range DPS, you don't really have to worry about it since it'll never hit you, but as a melee DPS, it can hit a little bit. It shouldn't one-shot you, but it can be a little bit damaging. But other than that, there's nothing super difficult about this boss, so it shouldn't be a wiper or anything. Like, the tornado can be annoying to deal with, but to be honest, you should be easily clearing this boss if it just comes down to making sure that you get inside of this circle when it comes up. He doesn't do anything too specifically damaging to a tank. He doesn't do anything like putting debuffs or anything onto a tank. He doesn't reduce healing of the party or anything like that. He literally just has those couple of basic abilities because this is just the first boss. But as you'll see, even with that simplicity kind of aspect, he still killed our scout and he still killed our healer because they simply just refused to get inside of the ice circle when it came up. Continue on from there. The next mobs I actually do want to address because I don't know what I still don't know what killed that healer there. I don't have any clue what happened to him. But the next mobs I do want to address because when they die, or well, I should say when they get to low health, they will explode. They have a radius of explosion, and it's a large red circle around them, so you shouldn't be standing in it when it explodes. Like me, I'm tanking, so I don't really have a choice because the majority of them are just around me, so I don't have a total say in the ability of it. But those are the red circles I'm talking about. They come up, they're red circles, they explode. If you're standing in those as a DPS, like as a melee DPS, it might be a little bit more difficult to continue DPSing and get out of them. But as a ranged DPS, you should never be standing inside of these. These should never hit you. But at the same time, I still see people like my mage and stuff who are still getting hit by these, and I didn't really understand because I was like, well, why are you even close enough to get hit by that? And then I thought about it and I realized that a lot of DPS, what they'll do that really makes it difficult to properly tank is they will just throw DPS one not on the target that the tank is focusing, because when it comes down to pally tanking specifically, our AoE abilities take a couple seconds to get out, so you can't just automatically attack anything we're AoE. Warriors is different. Warriors I consider better at AoE tanking, but I prefer to pally tank when it comes to like bosses and stuff because we have better survivability. But warriors themselves have better AoE tanking because they have the spin, so they're able to generate AoE aggro better. We have to wait for our righteous Rage of Light. There we go. Sorry, Rage. I was thinking of old Pally. So Rage of Light will go out, and then that's how we'll be able to AoE target. But single target, all we do is just throw out Condemnation, and then we can basically aggro off of that. But a lot of DPS I've noticed from just running, and I'm saying just running because I do a lot of pug runs, whether it's just for dust or just in general, I will do a lot of pug runs. So I've noticed that a lot of DPS will just kind of run in there and just attack, and I really want to break this habit from DPS. Like, it's really, really dumb. I don't know what makes you guys think this is a good idea. I know you can see that some higher geared players have run through allods and soloed it. That's like their characters. They have perfectly created their characters to the point that they can solo stuff like that. They're also well geared and they also have well CS and stuff. If you're not like that, you shouldn't be doing what they're doing. Like, practice better things than that. This boss, I kind of skipped over because she only has like two abilities. She has the Dark Palm ability of a summoner, and then she has that buff that needs to be debuffed off of the tank. Like other than that, she's really just a simple tank and spank. Like but again, these are normal Astrals. These are not hard mode Astrals. I would like to get some hard mode Astrals, and I'll probably will get some hard mode Astrals in to showcase that for you guys as well. But I'm doing the basics first because if you guys don't learn the basics, there's no way you're going to be able to do hard Astrals. Point blank period, you're just not going to be able to do it. Like, Astrals nowadays have been significantly made easier because there's no death limit, so you don't have to worry as much. But at the same time, you should still be aware of, if you ever plan on doing like hard mode sectors, you need to be aware of mechanics just in general, and that means you need to start with the easy mode mechanics before you go into hard mode mechanics. Jumping into hard mode mechanics and not having any fucking clue what the dungeon does is retarded. Like, I'm sorry to anyone. I don't mean like retarded. I just mean like it's just dumb, and it's just like absolutely stupid to even do things like that. This mob in particular, the last person who hits each of the little golems will get a bomb placed on top of them that explodes and does damage. this, even something as simple as this, can wipe a party or even wipe members just from them not paying attention and realizing where the bombs are at, or a healer not realizing where the bombs are doing damage at, or that person running on top of everyone else and letting the bombs explode. Like, it's easy. These are simple visual mechanics that, one, the game displays for you, and two, you should be able to see on your own character. Like, you shouldn't just be looking at your DPS meter or at your DPS. Like, you should have your rotation memorized. You shouldn't have to constantly look at it. Your rotation should just be muscle memory. Your So you should be more aware and more able to just focus on the things that are going around you. Like, what debuffs are on you, what buffs are on the bosses, what things you need to debuff, what things you need to call out to your party if you're in voice chat with them. Things like these need to be your focus. You shouldn't have to focus on your rotation whatsoever. Like me, I'm not focused on my rotation at all. I'm focused on what champ. Like, if you'll constantly, I'm switching between targets and seeing which ones I don't have aggro of, and I'm trying to pull that aggro because once again, this, like, DPS seem to just attack whatever the fuck they feel like instead of attacking the first target that the tank targets. It's not difficult. Like, when the tank picks his target, and it's usually, like, as a tank here, I'm gonna like, to help out tanks first off, pick the biggest target in the group. Like, the biggest target that you see, pick that target because it probably has the most health. So pick that target to generate your overall aggro on. So that way your DPS will start focusing that one first. All your DPS have to do is click your tank and then click the target that he's looking at. That's really not difficult. That way you can ensure that he has aggro on that one target, so it doesn't come kill you, and you can ensure that he's able to also grab aggro on the other mobs because you're not attacking them and giving your ridiculously higher damage than him all a chance to generate aggro. Like, this is just simple things, but people kind of seem to skip over it all the time when I'm running Astrals, and it's frustrating. I know I've run a lot of Astrals, so I'm kind of used to it. Like, you won't see me, I won't physically get frustrated all the time, and I won't complain a lot in chat. But, like, like, overall, it is kind of frustrating to deal with. Like, this boss, my healer, that healer DPS just ran up and attacked it. So I, of course, had to waste a taunt because I didn't want to taunt, because I know this boss, in general, will switch aggro to do this knockback. It does a large knockback, which will knock you into the circle ring behind him. It looks like that. It's this giant animation. So I really didn't want to waste my taunt doing that. But, of course, he attacked first, so I had to, because I didn't want this laser that focuses on whoever is his main target and deals large amounts of damage. I didn't want that on a DPS. So, like, these are things to be aware of. Also, these balls behind us, they are not only do they do damage to you, they also slow you significantly. So you really have to focus on not being in them at all. The only other thing this boss really does besides that arm swing that you just saw is these bombs that he places on everyone in the party that will knock you down. The bombs are unavoidable, but that right there, what that player just did, is actually the only way that people should die on this boss in easy mode. If you run towards your entire party when he's going a single target knockback on you, that one, it doesn't do huge amounts of damage. Like, you should not die from the knockback. If you die from the lightning balls behind, that's your fault because you didn't look and see that he's targeting you and he should knock you back. What the actual knockback itself does not do huge amounts of damage. So when he knocks you back like that, you shouldn't run towards your party. You should separate from your party or announce to your party that you have it on you. Like, you don't, even if you're not in chat, like, you'll see on my toolbar on the right side, there are plenty of emotes in this game. This game has a ton of visual emotes. You can literally put a help me emote or a bomb emote on yourself when this happens and just tell everyone in your party, basically, avoid me right now. Like, things like this are just little things that you can improve, and then that will also improve your gameplay, and it also make your Astral allods runs quite a bit smoother. Like, I know some people are running lower DPS, some people are running higher DPS. I get all of that. That's not really the focus of this particular series. Like, my series is not focusing on, like, how to do damage on your characters or how to do anything. I might make separate things on that based on my classes and these will be my opinions on them and self and how to improve character wise. But, like, when this comes, I'm just talking about basic play when it comes to this allot, and it's very frustrating when people don't seem to care about the basics because they figure, well, if there's no repercussions to dying. But there is repercussion. There's still, even though the repercussions are not like significant, where you won't completely wipe the allot, there's still repercussions of it wasted time. Like when you're running allods, we get a lot of keys per day. Some people stack their keys on characters because they want to ensure that they can they can just farm gold off of it. They can farm order prestige off of it. They can farm guild prestige off of it. People will stack keys, and when they stack keys, they want to be able to get runs done efficiently. When it comes to efficient runs, you can't be dying all the time, because the more time people have to wait for you to be dead, then the less efficient the Astral run is in itself. So you guys need to be aware of mechanics. You need to be aware of how things work. This is honestly one of the simplest end game bosses in terms of normal mode, like and Astral bosses, I should say. In terms of normal mode, like, he does Astral Storm, as you can see, and that's that purple ball that is coming down from the sky and landing on a character. It's a targeted ability, and the tank itself cannot do anything about this because he's inside of that bubble. I cannot do anything to stop that damage from targeting you. I cannot do anything at all. So all you have to do is just move to the right or the left a little bit, just right out of that circle. Just don't get hit by it. And then the other thing, will do a fire whirlwind, and it's 20 seconds or so. I have a buff announcer for bosses, I should say. It's a free allod. It's on allods.pro.com. I'll leave that link in the description below. These allods for me, like when it comes to add-ons for me, it's not like things that improve my character. Like, they don't particularly improve my character. It's more of just things that help me visually see things better. Like when I test a tank build, I want to make sure not only am I able to hold aggro, I also want to be able to maintain, like, I want to reduce the amount of damage that I'm taking overall. Like, as a tank, yes, you're supposed to take damage. That is your job. You're supposed to be a meat shield for the rest of your squishier members. But you don't that just because you're taking damage doesn't mean you have to be taking maximum amounts of damage. Like, I was running
Heaven sent my residence is heaven, just visiting, blending.